What's up, everyone? Sam with Backcountry Life. We're out in the middle of the desert. We're actually out in Knowles. It's the middle of January. You can see there's still snow, and it's actually way warmer. We've had a terrible winter. So anyway, no snow. But out here we got snow, so we're going to ride the 2020 KTM 300 XCW TPI. It's the 6-day edition, but we changed a bunch of stuff on it. Really just changed the plastic, but that's about it. So far I put all new plastics on it and also put tubeless in it. And the guy that had it before had full wrap. I haven't decided if I'm going to swap those or not. I don't really enjoy the full wraps, but this is a hard enduro bike, so maybe they'll stay. All right, with the 6 days, you can see you have some tires here. That's the Dunlop AT81s. It's an 18-inch rim. It comes with a different sprocket. I'm guessing it's going to be more durable than the standard, maybe XCW. And you have a little bit different colored exhaust right here. It's a special 6 days. I don't think it's anything different other than that. And then you have the 6-day rims. We also have the PDS shock here, and it's a WP Explorer. You can see the combustion chamber. The 6 days comes with a little bit different seat, a little bit of extra color in it. You get the color in the triple clamps. And I actually replaced the front light with a Cherubus light. It's just a little bit better. But electric start on this, guys. It's fuel injected, so pretty easy to start. As you can see here, you got your digital display. It has fuel injection and oil injection. So you put the oil in here and the gas in here. So excited to ride it. This is a great, really hard enduro bike, but I'm gonna be riding out here in the fast, flowy stuff to see how it does. Like I mentioned, I put tubeless in here. So you can see the two different nozzles. You got your high pressure and your low pressure. And cool bike. I love the orange frame. I think the orange frame should be on every KTM bike. You got a little extra goodies. There's no real difference between a standard 300 XCW and the 6 days version. The 6 days is blinged out. That's just about it. So stay tuned for some ride updates. Has the Explorer 48 fork, which is a solid fork. I'm used to riding a 250 XC, KTM 250 XC, which is more of a cross-country bike, more of a bike for this type of terrain that we're out in right now. So we'll see how the old 300 XCW does. Stay tuned. Say this, the fuel injection bikes do take some time to warm up. There we go. All right. So I bought this bike from an older gentleman. Man, it's just struggling to stay warm.
Sand is gnarly. Any bite? I haven't set the sag on this or anything, so it's going to be a bit of a learning curve to see what it's like. Feels comfortable this far. I don't feel like that's uncomfortable. Got my little man riding with me. His 65's in the shop, so he's riding a 110. There's some gnarly climbs here. Right now is the time to do it. Good dirt. So these guys are riding side by sides up these, which makes for some interesting ruts. With the sand being frozen, it's not bad at all. The front fork on this is nice and flush. It's a good fork. I like it. We'll see how good its bottoming resistance is. That froze. If the snow is sand nice and frozen right there. man. Alright guys, I just gave a random lady who was out here walking back to gave her right back to her truck on a dirt bike. Would you guys flag down a random stranger and ask them for a ride on a dirt bike? Comment below. Woo! Definitely bottom out these forks. Yeah, let's go run Milo down. Like the 2020 out in this stuff. It does feel like my rear end's a little bit light, but I don't have the steam bug effect when hitting the whoops, but it does feel like it's a bit light. So I haven't set the sag up, I haven't done any of that, so who knows. But feel like rolling the bike down off the hill just yet to try some of this. I know I probably could do that, but it ain't worth it. Anyway, so I definitely am bottoming out the suspension on this, which makes good time out in this. But overall I like it. I don't like the gearing so much out here. I feel like I want to hold the gear a little bit longer and rev it out, which it does not do. Which is scarier, going up or down? That's scary. Guys, it's so scary. One thing if it was a sand, but it just turns into a huge rock ledge. I will say this bike has great low end torque. I forget how good the 300 torque is. It's just the tractor motor. So riding this one slow is nice. The cushy suspension, which is nice as well. like I said, I've been bottoming it out, is, you know, when I go over jumps and bumps and all that fun crap. But the bottoming resistance is pretty good. It doesn't feel like it's a complete clank, you know, there's a little bit down there. Yes, I know this bike isn't made to be like dropping off big stuff or hitting huge whoops or anything like that. That's not really its forte. It's supposed to be a hard enduro bike, but I like to ride my bikes everywhere, and so can you ride it out in this stuff with no problem? Yeah, absolutely. Is it the best that there is? Nope. So the 300 XCW is a light, playful, fun bike, geared for hard enduro, but yeah, you definitely can ride all sorts of different terrain. You know, this is not what this bike was built for, but it does great. Now my suspension's a bit soft, but at the same time I don't mind, because in the hard gnarly crap, the rocks and stuff, it soaks it up with ease. Check on mine. I didn't like the older XCWs as much, just because they kind of felt like they rode too far forward for me, and the faster I went, the more my back end was just too light, and it was hard for me, and I wasn't comfortable with it. Granted, like I said, guys, I'm just an average rider. I'm not mechanically inclined, so I know you could take the suspension and do, you know, work it, but and make it, get rid of that. But with the PDS system, I've never, because my first two-stroke was a 2008 250 XCW, and I really liked that bike, and that's what put me onto two-strokes, and I pretty much haven't looked back. But as far as suspension out in the fast, flowy stuff, it didn't inspire confidence for me, just the way it was set up. And you know, I tried a few things to get it to work better, and it kind of did, but it's hard to take a bike that's not really meant for fast flowy stuff and make it fast, you know, make the suspension work better that way. But the changes that they did in 2020 to the XCW lineup is, honestly, it's really good. I'm very confident and comfortable on it, going fast and hitting the whoops and jumping and all that fun stuff. Is it as good as my XC? No, but my XC is not as good as the tight gnarly stuff as this bike is. But it's a fun bike, and I forget how, like luggy, right there is a prime example of how much luggy you get. But like, see that? Just quick, boom, and jump right out of that. So I had it's really nimble. But am I using all this suspension? Yes, I am. I have bottomed out a couple times, but that's okay. You're supposed to use all your suspension. Do I want it to have a little bit of a, you know, as it gets clear down there, a little bit more dampening feel? Yeah, and I heard from guys that I know that are smarter than me at all things dirt bikes, that if you put a little bit extra oil in your forks, that'll help with that. Just add some dampening resistance, right? Which I might try and do. But overall, this bike is great. I'm confident on it. I feel comfortable on it. It's fun to ride. The ergonomics of it fit me well. I was like this summer, as we were giving away my XC, I rode Richard's CRF, his Honda, a ton, and that bike it feels a little too heavy and needs to go on a diet, feel lighter, more applicable. But the ergonomics on that fit me really well, and I really liked it. it's a really fun bike to ride. Anyways, I feel like the rear end the XC, it feels like when I'm riding, going fast, I can keep that rear end down just a little bit better. This one's not bad, but it doesn't bounce anymore, you know. Yeah. See if I can clear it this way without any trouble. Cleared it, but not very well. Anyways, guys, it's a great bike. I can see why a lot of it's the most popular bike in the world. A lot of guys really like this bike, just because, man, like going slow on it, like just the first and second gear, just like it just has that grunt, and just getting a little extra lift is what you need sometimes to just get over an obstacle, and versus having to learn how to really, you know, they call it a cheater bike. Some bikes you can't really get away with not using a clutch lock. Man, this 300 you can. You just, I mean, just like, if you keep it open, like it'll just lug. Like this is just lugging. It's almost pulling itself. I'm barely giving it any gas. Like, just impressive, you know. So pretty solid, pretty fun. I like the changes a lot. They made the 2020 way better than the older XCWs, with having, you know, the more of a balanced bike and better all-around handling bike. So congrats, KTM. You know, because a hard enduro bike is definitely different than a cross-country race bike, and the XC models are more closely related to the motocross bikes than they are the enduro bikes. Like in KTM's lineup, for example, the XCW is different, has different geometry, but that's, you know, KTM feels that they don't want to just throw a blanket frame and suspension setup, a gearing setup, and call it an off-road bike like some of the Japanese guys do. Now, like, you know, Beta doesn't make motocross bikes, so they're straight up just a hard enduro bike, which means it's a really good enduro bike. It does excellent in the really technical stuff, but out here not so much, where it's, you know, it does okay. Oh yeah, an extra little grunt, the 300, just flat down that stuff like it is nothing. I love finding little natural terrain jumps, even though, like, I wouldn't consider myself like crazy good at jumping, but I love it. It's fun. I mean, we used to build jumps all day long for snowboarding, but I do like how plush it is. Right there is just a little teeny drop, and felt really nice. Walk, drop off, you know, little hits here and there. I really want Richie to ride this bike, because I actually think for like technical single track, that low end grunt where it's just like, oh, up everything will really help him. Whereas Honda is great and it's fun, but it's an RX, which means the gearing I think is exactly the same as what's on the motocross bike. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but that's what I was been told, which for hard single track and hard enduro, not the best option for you. But man, this is just a cool little area. Kind of like this weird mix between, oh, that was, guys, I can't tell you how beautiful that jump felt. That was awesome, just a great drop. Anyways, this would just be able to lug up everything, and it's super smooth and great power with the fuel injection. Oh, guys, that was so smooth, I'm telling you. Good little downhill, not very much air, but enough to feel good about myself. Anyways, back to Richard. The fact that, like, when we went and rode 5 miles of hell, like, Richard's a tough kid. And he's athletic. He's not afraid of a challenge. We've been in some crazy situations together, and he's handled it with no problem. He is not experienced on a dirt bike at all, and 5 miles of hell is not a beginner's trail. And he was riding his CRF. He was riding his CRF 250 RX, which, like I said, I really like that bike. It fits me very well. There's some things I wish were different on it, but overall, it's a fun freaking bike. But we halfway through, like, man, it just, because it'll just flame out on you randomly, and that's just tough. When you don't, you're a beginner and your clutch control's not where you want it to be, and you're just still trying to figure things out, having a bike that'll tractor through stuff is like the way to go. And so I was riding the free ride, which has its advantages and disadvantages, meaning it doesn't die, but it's hard because you can't modulate the power very easily. You would think so with the you know, being an electric motor, you can just use the throttle to modulate it, and yeah, it doesn't work as well as I would like, that I end up wheel spinning. Now, that's probably a rider issue, and I could do a lot better, but we switched halfway through and put Will, because Will is riding my bike, which does a lot better in the technical, even though it's a 250 XC, but it just does a lot better as it being a 4-stroke and all that good stuff. Like, it just does better in the hard single track. Like I said, it's not that far off from this beauty, but oh yeah, that worked out better than I thought. But at the same time, it's still not an XCW. And so we ended up putting Will on the Honda, because the dude can ride better than anyone I know. It's not a pro rider. He's freaking gifted on a dirt bike. Just a beast. Anyway, he rolled that and freaking killed it. But anyways, Richard did much better and said he liked it because he could just lug the bike, you know. And this is exactly what this 300 will do. So it'll just lug all day long. Got the gearing for it, got the power, the magic of the 300, the suspension, the clutch work. It's a hard bike to beat. I really like this bike. In fact, I rode it back to back 5 miles of hell with the Beta 200, and honestly the Beta 200 is one of my favorite bikes too. But as far as an overall do-it-all bike, this new 2020 XCW is pretty dang good. If you gave me the pick of what one I would do, oh man, it's harder than it's ever been. But I still think I'd go with an XC only because I'm more comfortable with it and I've ridden it for so long. But like I said, it's a good bike. Do I wish they made a 200 and put it in the XC and the XCW? Yes. The 150, granted I haven't ridden the new fuel injection ones and I hear they're better. But the but the 150 just ride too much high on the top end, which isn't bad, it's just different. But for the gnarly single track, I like the Beta 200 motor better. It's just great for single track and gnarly stuff. It's excellent, to be honest with you. It's one of my favorite two-stroke motors. Alright, we got some whoops here, guys. Let's see what... So it doesn't rev out as much. I don't know if he has a different screw like this. I wonder if he has one of the yellow or green screw springs in here, because it's just mellow. And I first thought maybe it was just the 300 because it makes the power different, but legitimately I think he's got one of those different other springs, because it's just like wall, which isn't actually bad, and each their own. I prefer the softest or the red spring just because I want to have more of a power on tap kind of a feel. This is cool. It's gonna be a nice little turn track in here. Try to be smooth. Oh, that was not. That was too fast. Oh, there's something. Here's turn track. What? That's what people race. Everybody's ready to sprinkle flat. Gotta bring the Can-Am out here. See how fast we can get it. See if we go faster than the dirt bike. Yeah. Anyway, guys, it's all, you know, my opinion. Who knows if I know anything? I like to ride dirt bikes and have fun, and that's really what the end game is. It doesn't matter what you ride as long as you have fun on it. And whoa, let's put this in the truck. And like I said, most of the riding comes down to the person and not the bike, but you know, we all know that the 300 Pro is a bit of a cheater bike when it comes to, whoa, I've never been out here, to be honest with you, so sorry guys if keep on being like, woo, keep finding and seeing stuff that's like, whoa. As always guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and comment below what you guys think about the 2020 XCW TPI. I want to hear your guys' feedback and what you think. What am I getting wrong? And comment below, and we'll see you guys out on the trail.